Hi my friends, it's Keith Struthers here, and I'd really like to share with you my excitement about how to encourage clients to be open to curves in their buildings. Now there's one thing we all know, absolutely, that unless you're enthusiastic, you'll never get your clients to be enthusiastic. Unless you're completely convinced, encouraging your clients to be convinced is really challenging. So the first question is, how do you, on a daily basis, become more and more convinced about the power and the elegance and the beauty of curves? What I find is, like, if I look at a beautiful guitar or a beautiful violin, and I look at the way the body movement just lifts and drops, or if I go to the harbor and have a look at boats and have a look at the bow of the boats and just how the bow moves like this, and then it just, like, it lifts slightly, and you feel that within yourself. You feel that movement, you feel that elegance. Or if you look at a car and how it moves from double curved, and then it goes single curved, then it goes flat, and there's such an elegant transition sometimes. So if you can live into the beauty and the elegance of curves and how that affects you, not as a head thing, but as a heart thing, it's so much easier to convince anybody else, so that you realize the power and the elegance of beauty. Now there's two ways to approach a client. The first, which has advantages and disadvantages, is to have an upfront conversation, to speak about curves, to show them examples, to encourage them. And if they open, the biggest advantage of that is that they're already enthusiastic about it. They're ready for it. They want it. They're keen, and it gives you license to do something about it. If you have an open conversation and the door starts closing, my suggestion is, before they say no, have a sense of it and say, hold on a second. I'd like to just try to introduce that into some of the design, and then let's see how it goes. So you don't allow the door to be closed. There's another option, which I've also done before, and that is not to have the upfront discussion, but simply to design with curves in the building that you present to them, right from the outset. The advantage of that is, if they love it, you're in. The disadvantage is, if they don't and they close the door at that point, you need to redesign. I'll give you an example. I had a client, a QS, whose wife said to me, I don't want pedestrian architecture. It was almost like a side comment. I don't want pedestrian architecture. I noted that. He's a QS. So I designed a building on the hillside that curved with the hillside, but all the trusses were the same as they migrated around. He was enthusiastic about it because it made economic sense, it made practical sense, and she loved the nuance of the curvilinear element. Straight away we were in. I had another client, somewhat more challenging, who said to me, we love your architecture, but we don't want curves. I kind of thought, like, really? Is that true? I designed a building for them with curves, not too much. He was a builder. So the building, the curves that I introduced were cautiously done, but they were still there, they were still elegant. I presented it on a Friday afternoon, and I said to them, I'm going to present this building to you. I don't want you to say a single word. I don't want you to respond. Take it home with you and come back to me on the Monday. Monday morning I get a phone call, we love the building. So their knee-jerk reaction was to say no. But once they lived into it, they really enjoyed it. Now there's another side to this as well, is how do you approach a domestic situation and how do you approach a commercial situation? In the domestic situation, one way is to speak about all the things that they're going to bring into their house and how that is a marriage between curvilinear and rectilinear forms, and how, whether they like that or not, or how they like that. And somehow the implicit warmth in the forms makes a massive difference to your feeling of home and well-being. With a commercial client, it's slightly different. Often the commercial client is looking for an economic edge. If you're designing a block of flats and you put curved ceilings in the blocks of flats and maybe a little bit of a curved wall in each of the flats that you're doing, when somebody comes to the door to purchase it, if the prices are anywhere equitable, The flats next door are standard. The flats that you're doing stand out. There's a difference. And that's the attraction. And if you can convince a commercial client that having that slight difference makes a massive difference, then you're in. I hope these ideas have been helpful. And if you'd like to write about it or ask questions or anything like that, please be free. Thanks very much.